Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 22 rebuild. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the San Francisco 49ers. Now, my hot take is, as you can see by the coach, name Lance will be the best. I think Trey Lance going into the draft was going to be the best player, and not the best player, but the best quarterback in the class. And before you guys get all pissed off at me and go, oh my god, it's obviously Mac Jones. Well, obviously, right now, I can easily say it is Mac Jones. I'm not going to lie, though, I did think Mac Jones was going to be a bust, but evidently I'm clearly wrong on that. I thought Justin Fields and Mac Jones are going to be the two busts of the QBs. Justin Fields does not look good right now. Everyone's saying it's Matt Nagy's fault. I guess time will tell, but for right now, Justin Fields, he's not looking that great. But Trey Lance, I personally thought that he was going to be the best player in the class because he seems like he has the best situation. Their O-line situation is pretty solid. Their offensive tackles are great. I believe their guards are great. They did lose their center. I'm blanking on who it is. Wasn't it Alex Mack? Yeah, I think it was. If it wasn't, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Alex Mack. I feel like I'm so stupid for some reason. I know Alex Mack went to another team before that, and I think it was the Falcons. I feel so stupid for saying this out loud, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. But they also have George Kittle. That's a receiving weapon. Debo has solidified himself for this year's top wide receivers. Not previous years, not counting all that. This year's top wide receivers, I would say Debo is a top 5 for this year's receivers. Brandon Ayuk is great. He just hasn't been getting a lot of targets. He's been sitting in Debo's shadow. And then he has Raheem Mostert in the backfield. Trey Sermon seems to be pretty good. I thought he was just put in the best offensive situation. And Kyle Shanahan is a great quarterback. A lot of people say he's overrated, but I still think he's well above average coach. I'm pretty sure I just called him a quarterback before, but you know what I mean. Kyle Shanahan is a great coach despite him being overrated. He still led Jimmy G to the Super Bowl. Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo to the Super Bowl. I feel like the main problem with this team is just injuries, staying healthy, being like an overall connected team with good chemistry. That's their problem. Because as you saw before, they were one of the worst teams in the NFL, drafted Joey Bosa, and then became a Super Bowl team. And it's not just because of Joey Bosa, it's because their entire team was injured that year. That's why the entire team was terrible. Because their entire team was injured, which gave them a higher draft pick, which gave them, not Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa. I can't believe I said that before, which gave them Nick Bosa. And then Nick Bosa just was an absolute stud. And a lot of people will argue that Nick Bosa is better than Joey Bosa. I don't know that, though. I haven't looked too far into it. I guess we will look into it here whenever we look into the team. So let's just move into this team. Here we got the overlook of the team. We have Jimmy Garoppolo as our QB here, but he is not going to be our QB for long. I'm immediately starting Trey Lance here. Injuries are turned off and pre-existing injuries are turned off. That's who it was. I was right. Alex Mack. Okay, I felt like I was so stupid for some reason. Anyways, we also have to keep off these injuries because, yeah, Mike McGlinchey is here as well. So, first of all, we got Trey Lance here, and then we have Raheem Mostert, and then Elijah Mitchell and Trey Sermon. Elijah Mitchell, rookie as well. They already gave him star. They didn't even give him a hidden dev. Interesting. I don't know what to do in this running back situation. I think I'm going to start Elijah Mitchell and then Trey Sermon just because Mostert is on his way out. He's just at that age. I can't be having him here. And then and now it's glitching me into there. Next, we have Deebo Samuel on our team. And then on the other side, we have Brandon Ayuk. We also have George Kittle. Then look at this offensive line. It is great. Trent Williams, Laken Tomlinson, Alex Mack. I don't know who this guy is, but sure. And then Mike McGlinchey. So a pretty good offensive line and a very well-rounded team for Trey Lance to work around. That's why I think he will be the best QB in this entire class once he gets that starting job because he has great coaching. He has a great offensive line. He has an above average offensive line. He has pretty good backs, and he has great receivers. Defensively, this is where this team should thrive, but they haven't been doing that recently. Marquise Hurst is here as well. Wow, I thought he was like 28. He's a lot younger, but I'm going to start Javon Kinlaw, their first round pick. D Ford, I'm going to have to trade away. I know he's a rotational piece, and he's a vital piece to their defense. I just don't need him. I don't need a D Ford. Then Eric Armstead is great. He used to have superstar dev, I believe, in the previous Madden. Also have Nick Bosa, as I was mentioning earlier. Dre Greenlaw is a god in simulation. Fred Warner as well. Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt in the back. Jimmy Ward has a overall boost I can see from the last Madden, but he is 30 years old, so I don't know what I want to do with him. Jason Verrett, not Verrett. Jason Verrett, yeah, he's going to be on his way out too. Quan Williams. If you watched my Wheel of Franchise series back in Madden 21, by the way, I do plan on bringing that back. This dude was an absolute savior on my team. He picked off so many balls. You know what I mean by that. That didn't come out right. Anyways, Marquise Hurst is going to start. This is where this team thrives. I expect to do really well here. D Ford is going to be off this team. I'm sorry. I just can't keep him for the contract that he is on to be a second string player in Madden. Yeah, I'm just not going to pay him $12 million a year to be a second string player. That's just how it is. I understand he has a use in real life, but just in this alone, it's just not useful to have him. So I'm going to try my best to get him off this team. Okay, surprisingly, that actually went through. So D Ford on a 4th-round pick gets me Byron Murphy. I'm completely cool with that. Byron Murphy is going to be a very essential piece to our defense. I do want him starting, though, as well. And then I will go over to specialist here. I want Elijah Mitchell here. Sure, Mostert can be the second. Trey Sermon. Then Elijah Mitchell at starting back. I want Elijah Mitchell just all the way around starting. I want Eric Armstead starting over here instead of Samson Ebukam. Where is Samson Ebukam? He's at the bottom here. That's interesting. So I'll keep him at the second string. I guess he'll be my rush defensive end. I'm not really going to argue about it. This is what the team looks like. Okay, so apart from that, guys, it is time to move into the midseason. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 3-3, third in the division in a very highly contested division. 85 overall team, though. Choose a draft class. Just going to keep auto-generated rookies here. Back out here. There's QB at the top of the class. Obviously, don't need that. Team breakout. That's tandem breakout. I'm not team tandems. They don't really matter, so I'm not going to really worry about that. Coming off a loss to the Colts. Jason Verrett, no. Raheem Mostert, no. Jaquiski Tartt, no. Laken Tomlinson. I want to see how he regresses at the end of the season. No. Marquise Hurst. I don't think he'll make it to an 80 throughout this rebuild, but how cheap is he actually? That's actually an extremely cheap deal, so I will actually re-sign that. Never mind. So he is re-signed. Everyone else here, I really don't like anyone else here. And I know I haven't traded away Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm waiting for a season to do that. I would probably do it this upcoming season, so let's simulate to the playoffs. We're in the playoffs, finishing 12-5, top of the division, coming off a win to the Rams to secure the division, as the Cardinals finish 11-6, and we're going to be facing them in the wild card round. We got the 4 seed, Cardinals got the 5th seed, and it looks like the Rams did miss the playoffs at 8-9, which is unfortunate for them, but good for us. We already took the division year 1. Let's go. Trey Lance was a god. He is a god. I was right. My god. Trey Lance, 3rd for MVP, his first start. Technically, he's a rookie, so this is his rookie start. I know in real life, obviously, he won't win Offensive Rookie of the Year because he's benched right now. But I decided to start him because, obviously this ended up to be a good idea. So in Madden, he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, but realistically, we're just going to say Justin Fields wins it in Madden. But in real life, we all know, Elijah Mitchell at 3. He must have had a really good year. In real life, we all know Mac Jones is probably going to win Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Zaven Collins. Interesting. 3rd best passing yards in the NFL. Top 5 passer rating, too. 25th defense. Yikes. 5,200 yards, 46 TDs, 12 interceptions. Amazing year. Elijah Mitchell, 8 TDs, not 1,000 yards. 3.6 per carry is not good. I don't know why he was top 3 for Rookie of the Year. George Kittle, 1,200 yards, 7 TDs. Amazing year. Brandon Ayuk, 5 TDs, 1,100 yards. Debo Samuel, 1,100 yards, 19 touchdowns. Amazing. Mohamed Sanu, I forgot he was here. I forgot he was in the NFL even. 10 touchdowns, 1,100 yards. Great year for everyone. Defensively, Fred Warner with the most tackles on team. Tackles for loss, 20 for Nick Bosa. Sacks, 9.5 for Eric Armstead, and only 6 for Nick Bosa, which is interesting. 4 interceptions for Fred Warner. Safeties on team, 0 defensive touchdowns is 1 for Jimmy Ward. Whenever this team is healthy and injuries do not exist, this team does perform like this. Byron Murphy's former team and D Ford's former team Let's see what we can do. I just realized, yeah, we did make a trade within the division. I don't know if that's realistic. And we lost to D Ford. That is unfortunate. Wild card round. Cardinals were 11-6. I was 12-5. I'm not going to be mad about that simulation if we lose in the wild card. Anyways, let's move to the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Baltimore Ravens beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson wins Super Bowl MVP, and people say Lamar Jackson isn't a playoff QB, so that's funny. Again, it is like simulation, but Trey Lance does win Rookie of the Year, so he should have Superstar Dev now. I believe he only received Star to begin with, so let's see what he has. If he does not get Star he gets X Factor. Shit. Did he have Superstar to begin with? I did not think he would get this. He's a scrambler archetype too. What's the speed? 87. That's surprising. Progression history. Superstar X Factor Dev. So I guess he just came with Superstar. Good with me, bro. I'm completely fine with that. I'm going to change his first one's free ability, by the way, to not Freight Train. I want Truz is stupid. Got Gambler. I know these really just don't matter that much. I'm just going to do it anyways because I feel like it. Yep, that's all good with me. Raheem Mostert's here, but obviously he's not going to be re-signed. So he gets Superstar X Factor. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this. You can cry in the comments. I don't care if you guys get mad at me. You're not going to get 19 touchdowns in a season and get 1,100 yards and tell me you don't get Superstar X Factor. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Like, he almost put 20 touchdowns up in a season. Dude was a freak. And I'm sure he won Best Receiver Award. Let's go to here, yearly awards. Let's go to, come on, show me NFC. Go to Best Wide Receiver. He's second behind Devontae Adams. He was the second best receiver in the NFL. You're not going to tell me he is the second best receiver in the NFL and he doesn't get X Factor. That is one of the stupidest things. I want to go look at his receiving stats again. Like, how is this a joke? Like, you're going to tell me that putting 19 touchdowns up and averaging 66 yards a game, and he had 666, by the way, interesting, and almost 14 yards of reception, 1,100 yards. Mohamed Sanu, like, a lot of people had a lot of yards on the season, but 19 touchdowns is ridiculous. That dude's everybody's number one fantasy pick now, other than Devontae Adams for a receiver. Like, I'm giving him X Factor. You can cry about it in the comments if you want to, because it's a respectable thing to do. Alex Mack is regressing. That's expected. Not really too surprised. Defensively, upgrades. Eric Armstead is back to Superstar Dev like last year. I told you Dre Greenlaw always just progresses extremely fast in simulation. Jaquiski Tart has regressed. Jimmy Ward has regressed by 3 whole overalls. Start Byron Murphy. Really, really good year for us, especially the rookie year for Trey Lance. Already having a Superstar X Factor this early on is massive. We needed this. Defense, though, I guess I'll have to change up some playbooks or some schemes or something like that, because what we have right now, we have a great defense and a great defensive line. I guess we just need DBs, and that's our problem, but we cannot be having one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Let's look at the NFC West, not East. A lot of people retired, but Trent Williams retired. Shit. That is a big thing. Trent Williams retiring is massive for us. That is not good. Jason Verrett, no. Laken Tomlinson, how far did you fall? You did not regress at all. I will re-sign you. I'll try to keep you for the entirety of the rebuild. So let's do that. Let's try and keep you at least as long as you stay above an 80 overall. I'm cool with you. This offer's perfect. Cool. Good with me, bro. Everyone else here is good. As long as I don't think he'll stay above an 80 this entire rebuild, but as long as he's just a decent player, that's what I'll take. So we do have 40 million for free agency, because now that Trent Williams retired, that cleared a whole bunch of cap. So let's get into it. Now here we are after free agency, picking up Teron Armstead, immediate replacement for Trent Williams. Super good. I pick him up in almost every one of my rebuilds because he's always there, and I always offer him a big money. I think I'm paying him like 18 million a year, but 95 overall superstar left tackle, one of the best in the league. Definitely want him. Marcus Williams, good replacement for Jaquiski Tart. And then we also have Young Wei Koo. I like to call him Young Ho Koo. Robbie Gould is just regressing every year on this team, so I just don't need him anymore. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it's time to move into the draft. Tyrone Carrington is going to be our first pick in the draft. We picked in the second round. I plan to move this guy to strong safety because I saw he was 6'4". I know 195 is an ideal weight for a strong safety, but I saw he was 6'4". The speed and the strength indicates he's not that high of an overall, so I might have just picked an absolute bust, but it's whatever. So this is the team after the draft. Pretty similar to last season, honestly. Elijah Mitchell's going to be there. Locke. Apparently the CPU picked up this guy. I might want him in the slot. Yeah, Locke is already here. How fast is this guy? He's 5'11", 193, 95 speed. He's probably going to thrive this year. Locke is probably going to do pretty good. Should have drafted a DB. I forgot we really don't have any, but we didn't really have any on the board either. So Elijah or Emmanuel Mosley. Yeah, Emmanuel Mosley. He's only 26. I thought he'd be like 28 or something. There's a lot of players that I think are a lot older than they actually are, but our defense is looking a little bit worse than last year. Who is this? Carrington. Yes, Carrington. I expect him to play strong safety, but for now, what's his zone and man? His zone is 69. Nice. His man, he's not good enough to play. Yeah, he's just not good enough to play DB. So I guess I will move him to strong safety, and once my strong safety leaves, then I will replace him with this guy. He's not really that good, but it's all good. He's my second round pick. Yeah, Jimmy Ward. My bad. I said Jaquiski Tart earlier. Either way, we are looking pretty good. Love this defensive line. Offensively, obviously, you got to love Trey Lance. I'm going to change up my scheme here for 4-3 cover is what I always run. I always run vertical zone run. I don't want to mess up something good, though. Let's go Cincinnati's playbook. Matt Nagy's 3-4 scheme. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. Cincinnati's is usually like a boom or a bust playbook for defense. Hopefully it's a boom this time. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it is time to move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a bye week. As we were 5-1, top of the division. Seahawks are 5-2, right on our trail, and it looks like the Chargers are 0-7. Wow. Okay. I kind of want to see if we can beat them. I forgot to trade away Jimmy Garoppolo, and I think I will need to do that. Nick Bosa needs to come back on this team. Going to be a massive deal for this guy. $17 million a year. He resigns. Deebo Samuel. He did not have a good season last season, so honestly, I wish I paid him like $15 million, but I don't get the option to do that and negotiate his stats with him and stuff like that. Negotiate like, hey, you didn't do that good last season, so you should get less money or something. But Deebo Samuel does resign. Byron Murphy Jr., we literally just traded for him. Of course, we need him back. That's actually a pretty cheap contract for his potential. Jimmy Ward, he'll probably be a 79 by the end of the season. Dre Greenlaw, I'm sure he'll be like a superstar X Factor by the end of the season. He always progresses ridiculously fast in simulation. Mike McGlinchey, of course, I need him back as well. And then we are going to have to get rid of Jimmy G's contract. Don't need the punter. Samson Ebukam, I don't need either. Jimmy Garoppolo and Samson Ebukam are gone. So let me trade away you, Jimmy G. Let's see who wants Jimmy G. Okay, so I'm just trading away Samson Ebukam straight up for a third-round pick. I can't trade away Jimmy Garoppolo because his cap hit is so unbelievably high. So can I just cut him? Actually, since this is his final year, I'm not going to take a cap penalty if I just let him hit free agency. I'll have money at the end of the year. Nobody can take on his contract, so that is unfortunate, so I will not be trading him away. I guess I really should have done it way earlier. That is my fault. I guess we're going to get no value out of him. Anyways, guys, let's move to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a 49-28 loss against the Packers as we finished second in the division behind the 12-5 Los Angeles Rams. The Seattle Seahawks, did they make the playoffs? No, they did not. The Rams get the second seed. Bears somehow get the first seed. We get the sixth seed. Yikes. Okay. Let's look at the stats. Stats and awards here. Still had a pretty good season. Trey Lance was a god once again. Top 3 in yards and passing touchdowns. 12th worst defense in the NFL. How? I need defensive playbooks. Comment them down below. 5,000 yards for Trey Lance, 40 TDs, 16 interceptions. Elijah Mitchell's 9 touchdowns, less yards than last season's, and a worse average. Yikes, dude. Lacey Locke. I was telling you guys it was probably going to go off because slot positions always go off. He's definitely going to get started at 1,200 yards, 7 TDs. George Kittle, 18 TDs, 1,100 yards. Deebo Samuel, 1,000 yards, 8 TDs. Brandon Ayuk, 3 TDs, almost 1,000 yards. Pretty good season all around, really, mainly for George Kittle. Fred Warner, 147 tackles. Trey Greenlaw with 144. He's definitely going to get an X factor. Tackles for loss, 23 for Nick Bosa. Sacks, 11 for Nick Bosa. So I guess you do deserve that contract. Eric Armstead has been very consistent and very good for us so far. 9.5 sacks. Interceptions, 5 for Byron Murphy. 3 for Fred Warner. Safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. So anyways, guys, apart from that, we are going to see if we can beat the Dallas Cowboys in simulation. Come on, Trey Lance. You lost to the Cardinals last year in the wild card. Let's win here, and we do. 34-14. Let's see if we can beat the number 1 seed, the Chicago Bears, who are 14-3. I never play in the wild card or the divisional. Let's see if we can beat them. Come on. Come on. We do. 33-21. We upset the Bears. Their season is over. We're in the conference championship against our division rivals. Let's see if we can beat the Los Angeles Rams to win this thing. So let's hop into this game and this simulation. They're an 84 overall. We're an 87 overall. And here we are in the first quarter as it is 7-0 against the Rams. Opening drive, nice. 14-0 against the Rams. 21-0 against the Rams. Come on, Trey Lance. 28-0. Okay. Nothing. Okay, cool. 35-0. Our defense is stellar and our offense is shredding them. 42-7 in a blowout win. Sean McVay humiliated. Matt, oh my God, 6 touchdowns in 1 game with 0 interceptions. How is that not a perfect passer rating? I do not care if he missed 6. I don't care if he missed 6 passes. The dude put up 6 touchdowns in 1 game with an 82% completion rate. That's perfect passer rating. Matthew Stafford was terrible. 151 yards, 0 TDs, 0 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. Elijah Mitchell always sucks. Elijah Mitchell has been doing terrible this time. Here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face Trevor Lawrence, who is a god in simulation, by the way, as the Jacksonville Jaguars are 9-8, and we will be playing them. Let's see the development upgrades for this year, and we are up to an 89 overall with morale. Brandon Ayuk somehow still doesn't have superstar, which is upsetting. I'm not going to give it to... Okay, you are on some type of crack if you think this guy does not deserve star dev. The dude had 1,100 yards in his rookie season. That's not easy for any player to do, let alone a rookie. That's not a simple task. He's getting star dev. So let's look at his stats here. Right, you put up 1,200 yards and 7 TDs in a rookie season with George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk as competition. That's not an easy task. You're just doing 1,200 yards in a season for a receiver is not an easy task in general. You're not going to tell me he doesn't get star dev. So I gave him that regardless whether you like it or not. He gets that. Alex Mack is still... I'm surprised he didn't retire from the last season, but he's still here. I'm cool with that. Defensively, how did Dre Greenlaw not get X Factor? I'm not going to give him X Factor because in simulation he usually always gets it, but I'm just not going to give him it here because I just don't feel like dealing with some people. I mean, I don't want to be negative about it, but it's fine. Yeah, if you look at his stats this season, like 144 tackles is not an easy thing to do, but I guess it's because he lacks interceptions. I mean, he got superstar dev from last season. He got superstar dev from this season. He took a major step up in this season. Same tackles for a loss, a half a sack more, but significantly more tackles. I guess he needs more. I'm not going to complain about that one. That's fine the way it is. Defensively, I don't see any defensive... Wait, Byron Murphy Jr. did get superstar, or did he get that last season? No, he didn't get that last season. He got superstar this season, which is sick because I did sign him on a super cheap deal, and he does have a very, very high ceiling. So anyways, guys, it is time to get into this game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we're only in year 2, so stick around after this. We already have a successful rebuild because we have made it to the Super Bowl. Let's get into it. Okay, here we are in the Super Bowl as we put up 3 points. Opening drive, nice. Now 6 points on the next drive. Offense isn't really doing much. Now 7-6. They take the lead. 13-7 against the Jaguars. 10-13. 20-10 against the Jaguars. 17-20. And 27-17, nice. 24-17 type game. They finally take the lead back. 31-27, 34-31, and we barely beat them. They couldn't finish the job. They were driving downfield. I was so worried that we were going to choke. And Trey Lance wins a Super Bowl in his very second year in the NFL. Yeah, celebrate that while you can, Jimmy Ward. You're probably not going to be on this team next season. But yeah, Elijah Mitchell's super happy. I hope he doesn't get the Super Bowl MVP. It better go to Trey Lance. Wow, Trevor Lawrence put up a game on us. 0 interceptions the entire time, but 4 passing touchdowns, a very good passer rating. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence did very good against us. 408 yards is unacceptable to put up against us. Our defense really needs to change. And yeah, I guess this is the DB's problem, but still a great game. 2 TDs and 347 yards for Trey Lance. Elijah Mitchell did, once again, terrible. So how did we get so many... How did we get so many rushing... How did we get so many touchdowns, I think? Kyle Juszczyk got a fullback touchdown, and Lacey Locke on probably like an end around or something. Anyways, let's see who the Super Bowl MVP is for this team. And yeah, I believe it should be Trey Lance. I don't think anyone had like a ridiculously good game for our team, but Trevor Lawrence had a good game. If it wasn't for like the winning team thing, I think there was a Super Bowl MVP one time where the losing team had the Super Bowl MVP. It was like a Cowboys game, I think it was. But Trey Lance does win Super Bowl MVP, and Patrick Mahomes wins league MVP. And there are no other awards here for the San Francisco 49ers. Looking into the roster, wait, we already did that. We already looked at all the team's upgrades and everything. So let's look into the retirements and the re-signings. So this is already a successful rebuild because we have won the Super Bowl. And yeah, can this thing load any faster? Thank you. View 2022 retirements. It's probably Alex Mack. I would like to retire on top too, dude. NFC West. And he doesn't retire. Alex Mack somehow does not retire. I'm cool with that, dude. I'll keep having you on the team. Looking into the re-signings here, Jimmy Ward, no. He only went down 1 overall. But at the same time, I did draft his replacement. I'm aware his replacement does kind of suck, but I will deal with it. Jimmy Garoppolo, I couldn't trade anywhere, so he will hit free agency. So anyways, guys, it's time to move into free agency, and I do have $27 million to spend. I think I'll have more once Jimmy Garoppolo does hit free agency and his contract is gone. So in free agency, I only got Bryce Callahan on a super cheap deal. I tried to go after Saquon Barkley, and I gave him the most money. He was in free agency, and he's only a star dev now because EA lowered it, which I'm glad they did because Barkley has only been healthy 1 season of his career. And yeah, Bryce Callahan we got. I was trying to get Casey Hayward Jr., but the Jaguars stole him from us, like how we stole the Super Bowl from them. And yeah, so we only got, again, Bryce Callahan. I keep mentioning it, but at the same time, I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted Barkley really badly. I planned to trade away Elijah Mitchell. I'm going to start Trey Sermon this year because our offensive rushing game is 32nd in the NFL. And yeah, our defensive passing game is terrible. So let's get to the draft. And ooh, okay, Deacon Allen, hidden development defensive back, 6'2", out of Washington State, very specific. But 93 speed. I saw that he had B catching and A stamina, so I was like, he's probably pretty good, but F play recognition is a big red flag for me, but hidden dev is a great thing. And also, we had the final pick in the 2nd round because we gave up 2 first-round picks to trade up for Trey Lance, obviously, in this year's draft. Well, last year's draft in real life. So I don't really get that many picks, guys. So getting this in this late 2nd round was a huge steal in my opinion. This is the team after the draft. I'm going to start Trey Sermon this year just because Elijah Mitchell disappoints me every single year. So Trey Sermon is going to start here. Lock, I'm going to keep in the slot. Lock is locked in the slot. That is very nice. Kind of funny in my opinion, not really. I'm sure everybody that watches my videos genuinely despises me. Carrington is going to get his first start. Wilkerson is going to be there. Dre Greenlaw. I still want a right outside linebacker, but I guess the CPU will do whatever they please. And yeah, team looks pretty good to me. Wait, defensively, where's my... I guess the DB that I drafted was basically a bust. Let's cut this guy because we're not going to use him for the next... We're not going to re-sign him for the next year. Is he that low on the depth chart? No way is he that... Is he seriously that low? I need to cut guys anyways. No way. This guy is like way down in the depth chart. He had to be in like the 50s or something, but he still has star dev or above. So that is what I'm going to start him for. That's the only reason I'm going to start him. Like this guy, oh my god. I didn't think he would be that bad. 2nd round pick, probably gonna be like a 64 overall. Let's go to, come on, show me the DBs. Free safety DB. Williams, Marcus Williams, Carrington. Deacon Allen is a 65 overall player. Yikes. Yikes, dude. 3rd string there. Let's try and put him in the slot if we can. Would that help him? I think that might. Smart is there. Where's Allen? Allen is right here. Let's put him above Smart, and then put this guy right here. Decon, Allen. Yikes, dude. I thought he was going to be way better than that, but I guess not. I mean, his play recognition is at F, but hopefully he can develop because I do not have much in terms of defensive backs. And hopefully my CPU doesn't auto-cut frickin' Bryce Callahan. It does that every time. So I'm going to get to the regular season to see if it does that. I'll see you guys all at the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the Giants, as we are 3-3, third in the division. Not the Giants. The Seahawks are 6-1, top of the division. The Rams are 4-3. We're about to play them here. That's a big game. Let's look into the players ready to negotiate. We really fell off from last season, apparently. Brandon Ayuk, I do want back on this team. Kind of expensive for a guy who hasn't really got a dev up this entire time, but still, Javon Kinlaw is probably going to be cheap. Not as cheap as I thought, but still. That's going to be a guy I do want back, obviously, first-round pick. Alex Mack, obviously, you're just way too old. I do like you, but at the same time, you're just going to become worse and worse and worse and worse, and it's just never going to end, despite how good you play. And let's see if we can beat the LA Rams. I'm sure we'll move to the bottom of the division if we can't beat them, and we win. Okay. We move to the second division as we are 4-3 here to face the 3-5 Cardinals. Let's see if we can actually beat them, because that would actually be really useful to us because they're another division rival, and we lost them. But we're still second in the division. The Seahawks, this is a massive game. If we beat the Cardinals and then we beat the Seahawks and the Rams, we would have taken the division. But I'll just simulate to the playoffs, and we'll see if we make it there. Okay, guys, so here we are in the playoffs, and I just forgot to start my recording here. I'm sorry, but we did lose to the Seattle Seahawks in the wild card round. We finished 9-8 and snuck into a wild card spot. I believe we were a 7th seed. I didn't even look. Yeah, we were a 7th seed. We lost by 3 points. Not a big deal, but looking into the stats and awards here, so I'm just going to show you this. Sorry for not recording. Trey Lance was really good again, 9th best offense, but our defense is still a problem at 21st. 4,800 yards, 39 TDs, 18 interceptions. Trey Sermon, 6 TDs, 3.8 average. He's better than Elijah Mitchell, but that's still not a good average. Not even 1,000 yards still. Lacey Lockett continues to produce 1,200 yards, 10 TDs. George Kittle, 8 TDs, 1,100 yards. Deebo Samuel, 967 yards and 10 TDs. Brandon Ayuk has been very consistent through this rebuild. Defensively, Fred Warner with the most tackles on the team. Tackles for a loss, 18 for Eric Armstead. Sacks, 18.5 for Nick Bosa. Maurice Hurst had 8.5 sacks. That's surprising. Interceptions, 3 for Byron Murphy, 3 for Fred Warner, and 3 for Bryce Callahan. It was a nice signing to get him. 0 safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns. So we're going to need to change up something on defense. As you can see in my team ranks at the bottom of the screen, our passing game still sucks and our running game still sucks. But that's fine with me that our running game is bad because we are a passing team with Trey Lance and all of our threats at receivers. So it's time to move into the offseason. And the Titans beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl. Looks like the Panthers cannot win a Super Bowl this rebuild, which is unfortunate. Rashad Evans, the middle linebacker, wins Super Bowl MVP. That's surprising. There are no San Francisco 49ers awards. So let's look into the roster here. And offensively, Trey Lance is still a god. Locke does get superstar dev. That is awesome to see, as he is an 80 overall without morale. And Alex Mack is still here. Defensively, looking into it, Dre Greenlaw finally gets X Factor. That's what I expected. The dude's a freak in simulation, and he always progresses extremely fast. Defensively, Allen has superstar dev. That was not a bust of a pick. Despite his overall, this dude is good. Superstar dev. He definitely didn't earn that because I didn't see him at the top of the board for anything. Yeah, I don't see him for any upgrade. So he came with superstar dev. That was not a bust of a pick. Thank God. He's very, very good now. I mean, he's still 69 overall, but that's completely fine with me. We got Bryce Callahan there. I might want to get a strong safety in free agency. I know I just released like Jimmy Ward last season, but at the same time, mine did not pan out very well, obviously. 2023 retirements. Will Alex Mack still be here? Alex Mack, NFC West. Alex Mack stays once again. That is surprising. I'm not going to re-sign him, though, because he is going to be like a 77 overall, 75 overall. How much do you want? I'll sign you in free agency. Actually, we won't have that much money in free agency. I'll give you a 1-year deal. I'll give you this as he re-signs with the team. And everyone else here is a punter? Sure. Let's see this guy. And punter, sure, he re-signs with us. Why not? And we do not have any money in free agents. We have $8 million. That can't get us really anything, so let's simulate to the draft. We finally get a first-round pick for the first time in this rebuild, and I'm picking a strong safety, wearing Jimmy Ward's number 1 now, Enrique Venable, I believe is how you pronounce it. 6 foot, 221 pounds, out of Florida. That's sick. Hidden dev. I think he's going to be pretty good for us. So this is the overlook of the team going into the 4th and final year. Trey Sermon is definitely going to start here, and I will have him start right here as well. Dre Greenlaw, got all my specialists right. Offensively, this is what we look like now. Very good receivers. Pretty good depth at halfback, really. Not really the best halfbacks, though. George Kittle is a beast. O-line is looking pretty good. Laken Tomlinson, he remained an 81. Wow. He barely regressed throughout this entire thing. That is surprising. Glad I re-signed him. Defensively, oh my gosh, Enrique's is 78 overall with the boost, 77 overall without it. Final season, let's just look at his development trait because it is the final season, so why not? And looking into it, can I please load? Thank you. Enrique, superstar dev. Wow, wish I drafted him earlier. I couldn't do that though because I never had a first round pick until this year. So we do have another safety valve. Good job. Allen, I'll move up just because he has superstar dev. And apart from that, guys, it is time to move in to the 4th and final season and 4th and final playoffs. So let's just simulate to the playoffs. I don't need to re-sign anybody at the midseason mark because it is the 4th and final season. Here we are in the playoffs coming off a win to the Dolphins at we are 13-4 as we are here to face the 8-1 Cardinals. We have the 2nd seed. That is unfortunate as the Buccaneers do have the 1st seed. Here to face the Cardinals, who have the 7th seed, obviously. Stats and awards here. Let's see what we have. Trey Lance has to be MVP. Show me it. Oh, my gosh. You're not going to tell me. How did Trevor Lawrence and Patrick Mahomes beat me out, dude? 4th best pass rating, 2nd most passing touchdowns, and oh, my gosh. Oh, it's so stupid. I'm going to look at the other players here. Let's look at the NFL total. NFL, I had the most passing yards. Patrick Mahomes had 3 more passing touchdowns than me and 2 less interceptions. Okay, that is probably taken into effect. I had a better completion percentage. And you're not going to tell me that Trevor Lawrence has significantly less, doesn't he have? Yeah, significantly less passing yards than me. Is it? Yeah. It's significantly less than me. I have almost 1,000 more than him. What is it? Yeah, I have almost 1,000 more than him. I have 3 more interceptions in the same amount of touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence does not beat me at MVP. He does not beat me at MVP. I have 1,000 more yards than him. That's such bull. And I have the same record than him, and I have a better record than Patrick Mahomes. I should win league MVP. Offensively, 2nd best offense in the NFL, 6th best defense. I didn't even change the playbook. They just suddenly decided to work. Okay. Trey Sermon, once again, not good. Elijah Mitchell had 12 touchdowns. Our running backs have not been good. George Kittle, 1,500 yards, 9 TDs. He's been a freak this entire simulation. Lacey Locke has been so good, so consistent. Almost 1,300 yards, 8 TDs. Brandon Ayuk with his first pop-off season, 1,200 yards, 10 TDs. I know his first season he had like 1,100 yards, but all the other players had it too, so it wasn't really a pop-off. Debo just fell off after year 1. Looking into it defensively, Fred Warner, 120 tackles for a loss, 19 for Nick Bosa, sacks 14 for Nick Bosa, 6 for Eric Armstead, interceptions 2 for Tyrone Carrington. He's my 2nd string safety. Oh, but he's my slot DB. Marquise Hurst with 2 safeties and Javon Kinlaw with a safety. That's surprising. 1 defensive touchdown for Byron Murphy Jr. and 1 for Caesar Orts. I don't know who that guy is. I guess the CPU drafted him this year because I never drafted him. Knew that. We still have the worst rushing game in the league, but we finally have a good defense. Our defense is finally in the green. So let's see if we can beat the Arizona Cardinals here to move on to the divisional round. I'm just going to simulate to the Super Bowl if we can get there. We beat them 30-24. I'm not going to play any of these games. I'm not going to play against the Cowboys because we already do have a successful rebuild. We lost to the Cowboys 30-15. I'm not going to be too upset about that. Cowboys are a good team in simulation. So anyways, guys, this is what the team looks like. Very, very good. Surprised Alex Mack lasted this long. Teron Armstead did last very long as well. Locke was someone who impressed all of us. George Kittle honestly impressed me. I know George Kittle is really good because he's 99 overall and everything, but at the same time, tight ends aren't targeted that much. I was very disappointed by our running game. Trey Lance did amazing. Always had almost a 5,000 yard season at least. I think he only had one, possibly 2 seasons where he didn't have 5,000 yards. Yeah, this guy's great. Dre Greenlaw did great. Defensively, I was surprised with Maurice Hurst's performance. Byron Murphy Jr. also played well. Marcus Williams was kind of quiet on our team. But Trey Lance did amazing. Same with George Kittle. They're probably going to be on my thumbnail. But anyways, guys, apart from that, I thank you guys all so much for watching. And yeah, tell me which team you want me to rebuild next. If you have made it this far in the video, let me know down below. And I'll see you guys all in the next one.